What's going on, everybody? I'm going to be talking about Jigsaw. And the best way I could describe this one is it's like that piece of chewing gum that you had in your mouth that you've been chewing on, and all the flavor's gone because you've just been chewing on it and chewing on it. And it's like, but you don't spit it out because you just can't find a garbage can. So before you know it, it's like 2 hours later, and that piece of gum is still in your mouth, but you just keep chewing it, just like these movies keep coming out. They really don't offer too much new. They always start with the tape recorder and the trap starting up, and the little "Do you want to play a game?" and then just like, "No, I don't want to play a game. I just want to get out of here." And honestly, like, what? Just I try to think of the math of what Jigsaw has to think of predicting everyone's single move. Just I think it's gotten ridiculous of how much Jigsaw has predicted and how much he sets up these games. Like, it just really feels it's almost like that when you watch a slasher movie and you kind of had to suspend your suspension of disbelief that even though people are running and running away from Michael Myers or Jason, they still end up like they still catch up. Like, that's the suspension of disbelief in these movies. You just have to, like, yeah, he's Jigsaw. Like, he can predict what these people will do, their choices, and which way they're gonna do. Um, but ultimately, the end up is they're gonna be dead. And the first one, it was a game. It was a game of a cat and mouse. The people in the game had a reason. Every player had a game. Now it's just like watching uh, um, cows on a conveyor belt to the slaughter. All these movies, they're just like, oh, here's the people, and by the end of the movie, they're going to be mangled and just ripped apart, and then they compensate that with Jigsaw's reason that the world did him bad and that the people are bad and they deserve it ultimately. So at this point, I just watch these movies. Oh, let's find out why these people are bad because ultimately they're going to tell us why they're bad and why they deserve to die. And it's like a waiting game, like a guessing game. Who's going to die next? That's really not much story. I mean, the red herring of all these movies are always replaceable cops that are like, we gotta find the clues and we gotta see what Jigsaw's up to. And I thought Jigsaw's dead. And no, he's been dead for 10 years. And it's not him, it's a copycat. And they're going around and they're pointing fingers at each other. And ultimately, everyone's there just to be like, yeah, whatever. It's a big red herring to ultimately watch these people go to the slaughter. Um, you know, there's real no reason to pick a favorite character because any point in the movie, they're like, this guy's a scumbag. They deserve to die. They're like, yeah, they're not so bad. And then they're like showing like a flashback of like something they did wrong, like when they tripped over someone and instead of helping them up, they had a heart attack and they just kept walking or something like that. It's just like, it's like really like this, like, it's like a like Jigsaw is the epitome of karma, but he does it with saw blades and chains and just like, like, when you watch a slash movie and like the biggest thing you could do is like do drugs or have sex. Well, they don't even go into that because they just go right away. These people are bad, and when they die, they deserve it. I don't like that. And they always try to have these twist endings that always seemed to blow people's mind. But I don't think there's been a good twist in these Saw movies since the first one. Uh, Really, there has been no. Maybe two was an okay twist, three was decent, and since four, they've been just kind of meat grinder movies. Where we're just watching meat grinders, and I got nothing against gore in movies, but I want like character development that makes me care about the characters. That I know that just these movies. It's a piece of gum. That's the flavor's gone. The flavor's gone in these movies, and I don't. It really is just a meat grinder movie at this point where, uh, it's as simple as like, well, if you don't like him, don't go see him. Well, maybe you should stop making these movies so they could start putting out. Like, I'm kicking myself for not seeing Happy Death Day because that actually looked good. And instead, I keep getting dragged into these dead dull franchises that don't really have any motivation anymore. I'm gonna start supporting original idea horror movies from now on. If it looks like a dead doll franchise movies, then then it's a dead doll franchise movie. Like that's why they had to stop the Jason movies because they did get some tiresome, even though they are corny fun. And I think there's a lot of people like, well, these movies are just dumb fun. Like give me a break with that. At this point, dumb fun is a thing of the past. People want just good scares. Uh, it just like dumb fun is like Tucker and Dale versus Evil. That's dumb fun where you can agree it's jokey. This is like trying to be serious and trying to give us a reason, like to not feel like horrible people. Like, yeah, these people have reasons why they're getting led to the slaughter. Like, okay, but like, how does that justify like these people aren't exactly the type of people that the Punisher would execute, like repeated offenders. These were people who kind of made a mistake, and he's just like, well, can't make a mistake, or else you get the chains and the saws. Jigsaw. That's another thing. I think this movie should have been called Saw Legacy because this is a soft reboot because without spoiling, um, it's a new stage for Saw. It's the the Saw storyline is kind of that story's over. This is a soft reboot. So that's another thing. Like it's a pretty weak reboot, soft reboot of the franchise. So at this point, I'm definitely not going to see Jigsaw 2. I give this movie a D a, a D plus, and I think some of the kills, like every Saw movie, they're decent just to put on the background. But so there's really no depth to these movies to really scoop up, get a good get a big scoop of it and really get that much out of it, other than the kills in it that were like, oh wow, look at that, that was pretty crazy. Most of those movies are that way. Um, I would say the needles to the neck with the acid was cool. The spiral motorcycle um, thing was pretty awesome. The wall of saws was mediocre. The um, the shotgun at the end was mediocre, and the laser net thing. Uh, I thought the shotgun net thing was way cooler in Saw 3. So overall, I don't recommend this. I think we should stand up and say it's time to get some good, legitimate, smart horror movies, not these fast food McDonald's slaughter uh, Saw franchise movies. But I do welcome Jason to come back or Michael Myers. But the Saw, it's ABC gum. It's over. It's over for me at least. It's